Thank you for joining me for another heartful chat. This one is with beautiful Zoe, who is a creative art and dance therapist for young children. She has also worked with neurodivergent kids as a support worker and a teacher's aide. And she's just an amazing, gorgeous, beautiful human that's putting her big, beautiful heart into the world of young children. So I hope you enjoy it. You will come away with some ideas and things that you can do with the kids in your life. And also, she's sharing with us a playlist that you can take into your world, whether it's with your kids or just with you in your lounge room. So enjoy this chat with beautiful Zoe. Thanks again for joining us. So I would love to welcome beautiful Zoe here today for joining me on Heartful. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Sarah. So
Yeah.
nice.
And so Zoe, you're a creative dance art therapist, a kids yoga teacher, lots of strings to your bow. And we're here today to talk about all those strings. And yeah, just sort of hear your journey and how it's impacted you, but also the children in your life as well, and the children you teach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I do so many things at the moment, but yes, and so I'm a creative arts therapist, so mostly specializing in the dance movement therapy side of it, and the art therapy side of it, and the kids yoga
Mhm.
teacher. And yeah, so my background is mostly in supporting children with a disability, and in youth work. And that's
Mm.
what I've been doing for kind of over the past 10 years. And that really led me into, like, I'm very passionate about that work, but it also really made me realize the need for therapy and how talk therapy is incredible for so many, but also it's not the right therapy for so many as well, especially children, and especially children with autism or children that are nonverbal. So that's kind of started my passion to study creative arts therapy. And
Mm.
yeah, that kind of has led me down the path that I am now. And so I see clients one on one, and I also do a few little special groups that I've just started up, which feel incredibly incredibly special.
Yeah, lovely. And so going back a little bit from what's happening now, did you use the creative arts and dance with like nonverbal children and autistic kids? And
Yeah,
how was that? How was it received?
yeah. I mean, music and art and dance is always received really beautifully with children, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
So I had always done, and I grew up dancing, so it was always something that I felt really passionate about. So I've always kind of used the creative world in the work that I've done, within the schools that I've worked in and the support work that I've done, which, yeah, again, kind of fed into me wanting to study it even deeper.
Mm,
Yes, it's always received so well, and such
yeah.
beautiful therapeutic benefits to it as well, which is really nice.
Yeah. I'd imagine you would have seen a lot of children who are um, autistic or kids that you've worked with, who, you could probably see them at the start of your practice where you're working with them, but they're not really engaging that much. And then you see the journey towards the end where it's like, oh, they're fully dancing and, really getting into it.
Absolutely, which is always really, really special to see that journey. And yes,
Mm.
recently just started up a little dance class actually, and I've named it Willow Flow. And so it's a dance class all about expression rather than perfection. Like I guess many dance classes, and for me growing up were like really fixated on needing to move a certain way and to be perfect.
Like choreographed and
Absolutely, and
yeah.
very strict, and for your body to be a certain way. And I found that, like, like just growing up in that environment, how toxic it can be for your mental health and for your self-esteem
Mm.
and for perfectionism tendencies. And but then it's also such a beautiful form of expression. So it just is crazy to think that, like, this incredible form of expression is then suppressed by needing.
Mm.
So I really wanted to create a class where it gave children the opportunity to just be themselves and express who they are, and there be no wrong way to move their body,
Yeah.
and their full unique expression being celebrated. And I guess, yeah, I named it Willow Flow because
Mhm.
at trees, we never look at a tree and think, oh, like that, where it's bent there, it's not good enough or it's not perfect enough. It's like we look at trees and they give us life and their beauty. And
Mm.
find ourselves criticizing trees. So why would we do that to children or to humans? And yes, I really wanted to kind of work with that theme of flowing to the rhythm of nature and to the rhythm of their own expression and their uniqueness being celebrated. So it's a very
Yeah.
special class that fills my heart with so much love. And it's really
Yes.
nice to see that evolution in the children. Like when they first started coming in and being a little bit shy and not sure, not wanting to try certain moves in case they got it wrong. And it's just nice to,
Mm.
after week, just them come into themselves a little bit more and feel comfortable to just be them and know that there's actually no wrong way to
Yeah.
express themselves, and that whatever they're doing, it's like
Is
beautiful
fine.
and so
Yeah.
celebrated. Yeah, so that's been really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's so lovely. And what would a typical class look like? Like the beginning, let's say. What would it look like? Because to me, I'm like, how does that even work? What age group do you usually
At the
teach?
moment, it's about 2.5 to 5. Um,
Okay. Yeah.
And so it'll start. So it's in the little cabin, which is another business that I have out on a permaculture farm, on Purple Pear Farm, and it's this beautiful cabin amongst the trees. So we start out there, and I usually pick some herbal tea from the garden, so they can just kind of chill around in the waiting area, have some
Mhm.
if they like, or their parents can have some herbal tea. And then once everyone's there, we enter into the cabin together, and we usually start off by all coming into a circle, and I pass a magic crystal around, this beautiful big rose quartz that's their favorite at the moment. And I'll pass that around the circle, and everyone will say their name. And then we'll start moving our body. So I'll often start with like a little bit of a guided meditation, and they'll have a crystal in their hand and close down their eyes. And then I'll kind of, start their process of connecting in with their body by
Mm.
getting them to imagine, the magic from the crystal traveling through their body, and stand
Mm.
up and test that magic out that's now traveling through our body. And so I'll do like lots of different
Beautiful.
things. Like I'll do, we'll do ones where we just we shake and we be silly, and then we explore
Yeah.
them slow, and then we fast, and then freezing, and just like
Mm.
expressing. And their favorite thing to do at the moment is like I'll ask them all what their favorite dance move is, and then we'll all copy it. So then we'll do that, and I'll just
Yeah,
do different
beautiful.
songs and just opportunities, and teach them, like, yeah, opportunities to just express themselves and teach
Yeah.
moves.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
there's so many, there must be so like you must really walk in and really kind of sense the vibe of what's going like how is everyone feeling? All right, everyone needs to shake or everyone needs to sit and just ground. And does that happen a lot too?
absolutely. And that's really my intention with the class, is to just feel into how they're all feeling. And I think, like, the first few classes that I did, I was like, cool, this is my plan. This is what I'm going to do. And it's like, I think just working with children in general, it's
Mm-hmm.
all about reading the room, isn't it? Like, as you
Yes,
know, and you
exactly.
can't fixate on something that's going to happen, because it often doesn't. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's very much so just reading their energy, and when
Mm.
shaking and being crazy when there's that energy to move, but also
Yeah.
then learning where and how to bring that back down through some guided meditation or some more beautiful, like, mindful movement yoga poses. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's a really
gorgeous.
nice mixture. Yeah.
Beautiful. I have spied a little bit on your beautiful Instagram, which I will share with everybody. A few little videos of the kids dancing, and yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Um, Now, I wanted to sort of go back to you. You said you did work with neurodivergent kids, and you're sort of hoping, is that right, to move into one-on-one therapy sessions
I
again?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. In the cabin or in
Yeah.
the
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would so yeah, my background has kind of always been in that space, but more in a school setting or some support work. And I'm, yeah,
Mm.
hoping soon to step into some one-on-one art and movement therapy sessions.
Yes.
Children with autism or children with any yeah, any disability or any children in general, really.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. And do you work with just preschool or also older kids?
Older kids as well, and
Yeah.
yeah, in all my work in schools, it's been, yeah, lots of different age levels and adults as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Gorgeous. Oh gosh. I know a few kids that would really like the nonverbal, and I know that they would just love what you're offering. Yeah. So yeah, um, it's like a real, like when I'm thinking of the kids, I'm like, oh my God, they have to meet Zoe.
It's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's just so needed. And like when I think about dance just as an adult, I sometimes just break out into dance when I need it. But there are people that don't, and they're kind of suppressed, as you said, and stuck, you know.
Yeah, which is so sad. And I think about that so often. It's like, and I think that
Mm.
goes back to that same thing with creative expression in general. It's like, it's actually a human, like
Need.
to express ourselves. And it's kind of, I guess the society that we're living in and the systems of school that we're going through, it's teaching us that our expression actually isn't good enough. And our
Mm.
expression, whether it's through a painting, it's then graded and it's like, oh, that's not good.
Mm.
Or how you're moving, you're not good enough to be in this dance school. Not,
Exactly.
or how you're talking. It's kind of like we're just taught in this society that to suppress everything, to suppress our
Mm.
emotions, to suppress our expression. And
Authenticity, who we are.
absolutely, so I just think it's so needed, especially amongst children, to have a safe space they feel they can fully express themselves. And I
Mm.
just think it's so special when you see the children in that full expression with
Yes.
zero limiting thoughts coming into their mind or not
Yes.
expressing a single thing. Like it's just,
Yeah, it's beautiful. And that would have such a huge ripple effect in their life as they go on their journey in life as
I, I,
well.
I'd hope so. And
Yeah.
I just
Oh, I
thought,
think it will. I definitely think it will. Like if they've experienced you as a teacher and expressing themselves in within their body, I just feel like we know 0 to 5 is such a important years for the blueprint of our life. And if they're learning at such a young age, like I just feel like that's, it's like gold that you're giving them.
oh,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
I always just come back to that thought of imagine if we were all taught as children what to do with our emotions and the expression
Mm,
and
mm,
like, and I think especially with our emotions, like when we're taught that so many of our emotions are actually negative and that we shouldn't, we're not taught how to express our anger or our
mm,
sadness, and that we're taught that it's not okay. So then we suppress it. And then with that manifests into disease and illness in the body and greater problems when we're older. And so much of it stems from when you're a child and suppressing all of that. So I think that's like another element to it, is not just like that beautiful expression, but it's also the emotional regulation of
mm,
this kind of therapeutic work as well, and just
mm,
teaching kids what to do with their emotions and like
mm.
safely as well.
Yeah. And so do you do it for adults too? The
I do.
adult classes?
I do. All of my work has always been with children, and I've been stepping into some work with adults recently, and I'm loving it actually, because it's so
Mm.
needed for adults too. Like just to be
So
able to
neat.
fully express themselves and to
Mhm.
paint and to scream and dance and move their bodies in ways that we don't usually. Like so many people don't move their bodies and aren't in their full
Mm.
expression. It's sad, and so
Yes, it
really
is.
for adults as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, you would have, like on a business point of view, you would have people like mums and parents that would drop their kids off and probably see you and go, yeah, I want to be part of that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually had so many parents recently when we, are doing a little session with the children and nurturing them and doing some guided meditation and dance and
Mm.
art and lemon foot baths and all of that. And
Oh,
like,
divine.
can I come along to this?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. So I'm
That's
going
so
to some
beautiful.
adult classes as well.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like that is definitely needed in our society. Um, you'll have to come down to Melbourne and do some. Um, yeah. Yeah. So, okay, so you're doing all these beautiful movement classes, and I feel like, I mean, just from talking to you and knowing you a little briefly, I just feel like you are just giving such beauty to the people that are around you in Newcastle and a part of your community. Um, and it's something that I think our audience will really love to hear. Or that, I think what you've said today, I'm even thinking, gosh, I could use this at the childcare center I work at. I could use this, with my niece and nephew and things like that. And I feel like you come with a wealth of knowledge. And so thank you for sharing all of that. And so what is the future plan for Zoe?
Yeah,
Zen, is it Zen Zo?
Zen
Zen
Zo.
Zo?
Yeah, Zen
Yeah.
Zo therapy. Yeah, I guess like I'm so early in Zen Zo therapy, so I've got some really big dreams. But my focus at the moment is just kind of growing my one-on-one clients because I'm doing so many beautiful group offerings at the moment, which I love.
Mm,
But it's very nice to work with someone one-on-one to kind of go deeper, whether that's a child or an adult. So
yeah.
that's kind of yeah, that's my plan at the moment is to just keep expanding that and to keep bringing yeah expressive beauty into people's lives and safe
Mm,
for them to feel their emotions and
mm,
connect with their bodies and because I just think so we're just so disconnected from our bodies these days and
yeah, for
there's
sure.
any opportunity for a child to get in their body
Mm,
themselves I think is just
great.
that's my goal.
And like in like a dream or a vision, could you see this type of therapy in schools as
Mhm.
well?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think it's so needed. And I think it goes back to that thing, with talk therapy, we've got counselors in schools, which is beautiful. And it's a really great step forward to have. I think just like mental health awareness in schools is really growing, which is
Mm,
cool. So I think there is space for that. And especially when talk therapy isn't always the best for children. And sometimes it is incredible. And so I'm really not dissing that whatsoever. And an element to my work is using talk therapy where appropriate as well.
yeah.
I just think, there's need for more of that. And I
Mm,
really do hope that it expands in schools. I do because
mm,
schools do have that understanding of the creative arts and they do have drama and music and movement and art. But again, it's still graded and it's still taught, okay, you're actually
yeah.
enough at this. Or so I do hope it is able to come in different ways and yeah,
Mm,
in schools. And my background is kind of in Steiner education as well. And Steiner schools their intention isn't in, like that deep therapeutic, but they have the right. Well, I really align with their understanding of creative arts and why they do that. And
yeah.
expression is really celebrated within the Steiner system.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, it would definitely work in a Steiner school or a Steiner philosophy. Yeah, yeah. That's beautiful. And you did used to work in Steiner, is that
Yeah, I
right?
still do. I still
I
do
used to
2 days
do.
a week. Support a little boy with autism and in
Mm.
the Steiner system, which is just such a dream to work there.
Yeah, gorgeous. Is that in Newcastle as well?
It is in Newcastle, yeah. Yeah, it's just a
Amazing.
magical little fairyland. It's very special place.
Yeah, and probably really good, for this particular boy, it's the right place where he needs to be. Is
Mm.
that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm,
Yeah.
not in the traditional schooling system. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so lovely. That's so beautiful. Okay. So I suppose we sort of end with, the question of, because this is a heartful conversation.
Yeah.
I always ask all of my peeps, what does it mean to follow your heart? And I feel like you're kind of living it
Yeah.
now.
I
But
feel like it's yeah, when I reflect on that, it's like I don't know what it feels like to not live and lead with my heart. And I guess
mm,
that for me it's just following the things that I love and just giving love to everything that I'm doing, but also just like love in a sense of also igniting that inner passion and fire to just keep doing work that brings other people love and purpose and
mm,
Yeah.
I'm sure when you're doing your classes, I mean, this is what I felt when I was teaching kids yoga. Like it didn't feel like work. It felt like freedom. Like it was just like in flow, It was beautiful. Yeah.
So special. The other day, after the class, I almost started crying. I was like, that was just so special. And I feel incredibly grateful for the work that I do and the life
Mhm.
that I'm creating. It just, yeah, feels very, feel very lucky to do work that I love.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, following your heart is so it's such a fulfilling
Mm,
kind of way to live. And we know we can feel it when it's not right. It's like, oh, that feels a bit constricting, and you're kind of tense, and your muscles are like this, and you're stressed, and you're anxious, and all these kind of critical thoughts come in, and then you realize that you're here and you're not here, and yeah,
yeah,
you have to create a change. Mm.
absolutely. So true.
It
Yeah.
sounds a little bit like you mentioned your previous dance career, like when you were younger. It sounds a little bit like that, where you were just like, oh, I can't do
Yeah.
this anymore.
Absolutely. Like it was, when I look back to my childhood, it still was the highlight of my childhood dancing. But it got to a place that it was no longer my passion. It really eats away at you. And especially dancing at a competitive level, it's just like it really instills in you that you're not good enough. And
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Beautiful. I'm so glad you found your way.
and it
Um,
definitely kind of also just contributed to disconnecting from my body in that sense as well, because it's meant to be this in body experience, but when you get in your head you disconnect from your body. And I think
mm,
so many of us are experiencing being disconnected from our own body, so that's like just another part of what I really want to do with my work, is to help people to, yeah, get in,
in-
feel their emotions and know how to safely express them. So
gorgeous. Oh, you're just a gem.
yeah.
And so where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm in the process of creating my website at the moment. So
Oh,
that's
it's a
something
big job, the
that
website.
it is, yeah. But I mostly am most active on Instagram. So that's zen.zo underscore underscore.
Mhm.
Yes, that's where I'm kind of more active. And I practice out of my business, the Cosmos Co. So that's quite active on there as well. And that's where I run all my classes and my offerings. So that's the.cosmos.co on Instagram.
Beautiful. And have you got spaces for people?
I do. I
Yep.
do.
Okay.
I've just opened up some more space in my week, and I'm really excited to take on some new clients. So yeah.
Gorgeous. Oh, that's so lovely. And one last thing, when you were talking, I was thinking about these classes, and I was like, how can I get involved? And
Yeah.
so, do you have a playlist that you could share with
I have
us?
so many playlists. I would love,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I'm just
Beautiful.
so fun making playlists for different emotions and for different forms of expression. And yeah,
Mm,
happy to share them with you.
lovely. Okay, well, I'll share that in the notes below, and we can all have our own little personal dance party.
Yes, I encourage that for everyone listening, to just take some time and just move your body. And there's no wrong way to move your body.
Yeah, yeah. Just do whatever feels good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining me, Zoe.
Thanks
It's
for
been
having me.
it's been a real pleasure, and just to hear your journey and what you do and how much heart you have and what you're giving to our children. And where I work with children too, and I think we're on the same page, where we just want to help the next generation to feel better when they're a bit older, and
Yeah,
look after themselves, look after the world they live in, look after the people they have in their lives as well, and yeah,
yeah,
feel good.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Zoe.
Sarah, thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.